Hey Paul, just a quick tutorial on how to post a blog on your website. Once you log into MyTri, you'll come to this page and this is called your dashboard. Now on your left hand side here, you'll see a menu. You want to scroll down to posts and you want to go to add new. Once your page is up, you want to put in a title. So we're going to put endurance running for the title here. Okay, and we're going to get some copy for this, so I'm just going to paste that in. Now this is just the very simple text. You've got this here. This is called your Visual Composer, and it is actually quite fantastic. It's another tutorial in itself, and I'll send you the link where you can find all the documentations. But you can add all these kind of elements. So if you wanted to get a little bit more fancy, add images inside your blog. They won't obviously be featured images, but there's lots of things that you can actually add using it. You can use product images and include that into your blog post. But again, it is quite complex, so I'm going to just keep it to the classic mode for now. However, you do have that option, and it's pretty fantastic when you do get to understand it a little bit. I always keep my formats to standard. And I always make sure that I put in a heading. So okay, and you just highlight that and you go where it says paragraph and you change that to either heading 1 or heading 2. Now with blogs, it's pretty important to actually break up your blog with headings, because a lot of the time people won't read the entire blog, they will skim through it. So headings and point forms really good when it comes to a blog post. Now if you wanted to link to a page, so for instance you were talking about the Sunshine Coast triathlon, then you might want to highlight that and you want to put a link back to the actual product where people could create their own. So you would insert your link and you could type it in. So Sunshine Coast, and it's there, and then just press that apply. And as you can see, it's got an underline now, so that actual word links back to that page. And you can also obviously put bold your text here, change the color of your text if you want to, add block quotes. You can add an image here. Now if you add an image here, it obviously is not your featured image, so it won't feature, it will only be in the internal blog. You won't see it on the blog page. I do apologise, it can be, and you can kind of scroll that around to where you'd like it. But on this occasion I'm going to take it out. I'm actually only going to include an image on the featured image. So I'm going to set the featured image, which I've already uploaded, but if you wanted to upload, you'd just go to upload images and select files from your computer. And now your blog images, if you're using the featured image should be around the 850 by 350 mark, and as you can see I've kept the file size down considerably. Again, I use Photoshop, so it is very easy to do it that way. And you also want to make sure that when you add an image that you title the image, because Google doesn't understand spaces, so you need to make sure that there's hyphens there and it's got your main keywords in there, because you want to rank well even for the images. And make sure that you've got an alternative text as well. Once you've done that, set image, and I want to make sure that I select a category. So this blog is about triathlon training, endurance training and running, so I've preset these categories for you. Now the best thing with categories is that you can actually create links to these categories. You can create menu items, so that say you wanted to create a news section where people could actually search blogs based on triathlon training and triathlon events. You can actually have these two as separate menu items by going into appearance and menus and using the blog categories. Okay, now with your featured image, if you wanted to hide that, you could always come down to the post options and click on hide featured image, but I'm going to keep it for the point of this example. I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to press publish because I'm finished with the blog now. Okay, now if I click on here, this is the permalink, that's the URL. Again, if you needed to change that, you can by clicking on the edit button and going in and either deleting it. By default, it will take the title and put a hyphen between the space. But if you wanted to, say, go ER22, for instance, you can actually override the example. But in most cases for SEO purposes, you would want to make sure that you've got your keywords in there. Press update. Now we're going to look at the page. And as you can see, you've got your featured image here. You've got your categories which show that there's a blog related to each one. And you've got your copy here. And as you can see, we've got the link now that goes back. So that links back to the Sunshine Coast, and you've got your colour changes. That's about it. If you have any other questions, please feel free to call me.